Alright guys, I'm picking up where I left off. At the end of the last episode or video probably wasn't very satisfying because we didn't get anything done, but at the end of this video we'll have something falling. So this item package needs to be dropped when the satellite is destroyed. So let's go to this satellite and we're going to add, I'm on the satellite now, I'm going to add a function that says when the satellite is destroyed, drop an item package. So if I paste this in here, this is from my other version, somebody's going to destroy the satellite. It's either going to be player 1 or player 2. Right now we can set a default. We'll just say it's always player 1 that destroys it. So that'll get rid of that error for me. But we need to do two things. Once the satellite is destroyed, obviously we need to destroy it, so this just gets rid of the satellite. Get rid of the satellite. And then this one here would be, before we get rid of it, we need to actually drop the package. So I need that function. I'm going to copy paste this one in here too. Okay, so this calls this to drop the package. I don't think y'all need any of this here. Might need it later. But okay, when we figure out when function is called, it will drop a package for the player to pick up to get a boost of some sort. So drop package is going to call this, and it's going to get a new item package, and it's going to instantiate it, which means create a new item package. Well, up here at the top where it says item package, I still have the 1-up loaded, but I don't want the 1-up. I want this item package right here that I created. So I'm going to remove this 1-up. And I'm going to drop in my item package. Now this item package could be any of the items that I have. We're just going to load this one. Alright, now it says new item package, so it loads it. It adds it where, add the package where the satellite was. And set its position to where the satellite was. And set up travel object. I think that, ooh, that was this is a function inside of my item package. So I have set up object travel, and you can see we're sending it where do you start from. So maybe I should add that here. Function in package, and here packages starting location. So when the satellite gets destroyed, it's going to tell the item package where you need to be, and it's going to call this function and tell it what needs to happen. Alright, so these two things are really important. Now we need a way to destroy the actual satellite. Right now we have this function, but we have no way to call it because shooting it's not going to call it. So I'm just going to use that debug button that we made. So we'll eventually remove what I'm about to add, but I'm going to add it right quick just for funsies. So I'll just say function underscore input, no, not init, input, if input dot is action just pressed. I'll use that debug 4 again. If this button is pressed, that means I want to also destroy the satellite. So I'm going to say satellite, you need to be destroyed. And by who, we'll just go ahead and we'll just call it. So this button not only calls the satellite, but it will also destroy the satellite. Which when it does destroy the satellite, it'll call the drop item package, and it'll destroy the satellite right there. It will drop the package. Now let's go look back at this item package and make sure that I didn't make it a mess over here. Oh, right there, the initial setup. Let's just comment this one out, and let's put pass. Alright, I haven't done this at all, so we're about to find out. I might be redoing this video here in 2 seconds, but here we go. I'm going to play the test world, and it should have a package going across. If I push 4, it's... oh, it did work. We had a bit of a delay there, but there's the item package. It's a little square. Let me push 4 again. Satellite. And it did work. It made the item drop from the sky. Nice. But it also calls another satellite, which is fine. I'm okay with that. And you'll notice over time, the package ends up disappearing. So after a little bit of a time, it goes away. So pressing 4 drops the item. Perfect. And spawns another satellite. Perfect, perfect. Alright, now we want to make it where it actually chooses a different item. It chooses one of the ones we've created. So now we know it's moving towards the floor. If you come right here in our initial setup, we say if it's a default item, meaning we didn't tell it what item we wanted it to be, then we want to load a random item. So then this goes and selects one of these random guys and sets up that item. So the big question is does my setup function that I created work? Basically what it does is it takes the name, it tries to find the right name. After it does, it loads in that function. It loads in that picture. Let's see if all this mess here works. Okay, so basically what I did over here is I uncommented. Let's see if it works. There we go. We got a corn. We got a spray. We got a 1-up. Another 1-up. There we go. It looks like it's choosing them randomly. Let's go. Excellent. Alright, now we need to make it where when we touch these things, they disappear. There's lots of stuff we got to do from this point. That was a lot of video. I'm going to remove these. It's also not optimal to be pressing a button to drop stuff. You're going to want to tie this to something. In my main part of my game, I tied it to destroying the squirts. So like as you destroy the squirts, it has a chance to call the satellite, and it has a chance to, we'll have to set that up later. I think this is a pretty big step of what we did. Maybe we can make it where if we shoot the satellite, it gets destroyed. Maybe that would be nice of Mr. Eversoul if he did that. Uh-oh. I think I just typed somewhere I shouldn't have been. Okay, there we go. Let's see if we can do that. Heck, why not? I'm certain I can. The video's only been going for 8 minutes. Let's see if Mr. Eversoul can do it right quick. Alright, I'm doing this in real time. I know that the projectile can destroy these little guys here. It's destroying the squirts, right? So let's go take a look at a squirt and see what special powers Mr. Squirt has. Where are you? Enemy. Squirt. Here's our squirt. He's got a detection area. I can see it on him. That's going to be this collision point here. So that means our item package needs it. Oh, look at there. He's got one, a detection zone. So he's already got a place to be detected. Actually, you know what? We're talking about the satellite. The satellite's the one that needs to get destroyed. So he needs a detection zone. Let me take a look at this. On this satellite, let's turn this here into an actual character body. So I right-clicked on satellite rig, and I'm going to say change type, and I'm going to make this a character body change. I'm also going to add a collision shape, and then on this collision shape I'm going to choose a sphere, and I'm going to make the sphere something that I could live with for its hitbox. I could live with this. Maybe a little smaller. Right there. Okay. Now our satellite has a hitbox. Alright, now we're going to need something that can detect if it got hit. Hold on, let me see if I added that in over here. Alright, I found it. Okay, there's two critical things we need. We need a we're going to need the damage shifter script. I think I've made this before for you guys already. I'm going to go ahead and add it here. Let's see if it exists. It's supposed to be... Ooh, I don't have it. Alright, so you're going to need it. It's not going to be that hard to make, though. We can make it right quick. So it should be in the scripts, enemies, parent damage shifter script. So let's make this. I'm going to right click on enemies and I'm going to say create new script, and I'm going to call it parent damage shifter create. Alright, that damage shifter script now exists. Let me open it on this other one. Okay, I'm just going to copy all the code in there for you. Basically what this code does, it basically sends the damage up one level. So when this guy gets hit, the satellite, when we hit its collision, it needs to take the damage, right? It needs to get hit, but there's no script on it. And all of the information that's relevant to the satellite is up here, one more level up. So the name for me, when I made this damage shifter, it means I want you to shift the damage from this character to this upper object here. So it basically, all it says is go to the parent and send him the damage that you just took. So tell me who gave it to you and how much damage it was. So basically this guy right here needs this function. I'm not going to add it to him right there. I'm going to add it to him in code above. The reason I'm not just going to attach it right here is because you need to know how to attach scripts without right-clicking and doing attach script. We're going to do the same thing here. So right there, damage shifter script. I want to attach it to this satellite rig, but I'm going to do it in code. The way you can do that is right here. Get your children. Get the first child, that's the 0 child, which happens to be the satellite rig, and set his script to this damage shifter script. Add the script and pass along the damage to the parent right there. Alright. We also need to add an entity type for it. I have right there satellite. This is a group that I want to carry around so you'll know if you destroyed something you're supposed to destroy. So I'm going to go ahead and add that here too. Add it to the correct group. Alright, so we added the damage shifter and we added the correct group. Alright, last thing we need is to receive that damage. So the same function that was in this damage shifter script, we're basically just going to put it in here so it can be called as well. So receive damage. I also found I'm gonna go down. Actually, I'll put this one right below initial setup. So receive damage from someone, some amount, and send it to, and then have it call destroy satellite instead of pushing the 4 button again. So I'm going to get rid of this pushing the button. So now this guy's going to do it whenever the satellite rig gets hit by a projectile. All right, let's see if this works. Oh no. Oh, I need to play the correct world, Mr. Oversoul. All right, here we go. Okay, so now pushing the number 4 button is only going to call satellites. Oh, passes right through it. All right, we need to figure out why is it passing through it. I'm not going to give up. We can do it. I want to pause 1 second and I'll figure it out. All right, I think I located it. Go to the simple projectile or the missile and take a look at how we deal damage. First, we say if the projectile is a missile, that basically means if it's a missile, it came from the player. And if the thing that we collided with is an enemy, then we're going to say the player scored a hit and destroy the squirt, right? So this one would work for squirts. I'm going to add another one here. We'll say elif, and I'm going to add all of this stuff here. Okay. If it's a missile and the group that we put it in before, hold on, I'm grabbing it from over here, is satellite. Okay, so if there's a satellite in the thing that we collided with, that basically means we hit a satellite. Then what do we want to do? Well, we're still going to remove the projectile, which is the bullet. Instead of saying we scored a hit, we could say player shot a satellite. And then we're assuming we're hitting the satellite, so that's the collider. And we need to do, so if you look up here, we put that damage shifter in there. So we need to call the function receive damage. So I'm going to grab this function. This is the one we're going to call. You can stay over there on that other thing if you want. So we're going to do dot. We're going to call this function. And we'll just say this is player 1. We'll have to fix this later. We'll say player 1. And then we'll say deals 1 damage. Send 1 damage to the satellite. Alright, the only thing I don't know is it going to actually recognize the group correctly? I don't know. I think it should. Oh, yeah, it should, as long as, let's take a look at our satellite. Yep, we added it to the correct group. Yeah, okay, it should work. Let's see it. Let's see if it does it. Play. Yes. Excellent. Okay, I'm noticing that we've created another problem for ourselves, that when the satellites hit the edge, the squirts change direction. That's okay. We're causing one problem and we're fixing one problem and causing another. But that's literally how programming works. It's kind of like a giant balance of problems that you've created for yourself. Alright, that's the end of this video. I'm going to do one small recap. So how did I do that? What did Mr. Eversoul just do? Well, what is this? Why can't that go away? Ooh. Oh, I'm just blind. We added it to the correct group, which was satellite. And then we added a damage shifter. And then we also went to the simple projectile and we added another case here. This is the case of if our missile hits a satellite, then we say, yeah, we shot a satellite, give that satellite 1 damage, and remove the projectile. Excellent work, Batman. Alright, I'll see y'all in the next video.